Hey, Michigan Maniacs. This is the Michigan Maniac Podcast, and I am your host, Adam Brewer. This is this is the Ask Me Anything. Whoops. Ask Me Anything episode. Penn State. All right, very exciting. Now, before we get into this, obviously, hit me up on social media. Give me 5-star reviews on Apple Podcasts, right? We really want to make this podcast grow because I really do believe I am probably one of the best podcasts you get for Michigan football and even Michigan basketball. Even though I'm not technically sound on basketball, I do enjoy it and I can get a little bit excited about it, and I think it's fun to hear me. So either way, let's get me out there, right? Because aren't you tired of the same stuff? And I love those podcasts too. I get it. I love listening to them. I really do. But let's face it, I'm way different. I'm okay, I'm not going to plead my case. Guys, just hit me up. Apple Podcasts, 5-star review. Leave a review or not, whatever. Let's just get me in front of more people and let's let the public decide. All right, now let's get into this Ask Me Anything. And like I said, guys, the rules of Ask Me Anything is very simple. Ask me anything. I will answer anything you ask me, so it doesn't matter, just do it. So let's get into it. And just like clockwork, all the same dudes who I love to death are on this list, and I love all their questions, so I can't wait to answer them. So let's get into it to one of the OG Michigan Maniacs, Braddy G, my buddy, the guy who usually gets me all the inside dirt when there is inside dirt to get. He asked, realistically, how do you see the game against Ohio playing out? Well, that's a very interesting question because I've thought about this a lot, just in recent, even especially how we played against Michigan State, because Michigan State, to me, reminds me a lot of Ohio State. Now, obviously, on a way lower level, right? Way less talent. I mean, way less talent. Way less talent. But then again, we lost to that way less talent. So, whatever. It all depends on, I don't know. I see it going so many different ways. But the two ways that stick out in my mind is this. I don't see a blowout either way. Obviously, on our end, that would be a miracle, right? I don't see them blowing us out at all. I don't see us blowing them out at all. I see them winning if our linebackers can't stop the coverages, can't make big plays, can't stop the big play, can't fill gaps. Because I see Travion Henderson just doing the same thing that that Kenneth Walker III did. I totally see that. He's better than he is, so I can definitely see him making the same amount of plays. But the one thing I am positive about is our defensive backfield is way better. So I don't think if they beat us, it's going to be because they kill us. It's going to be, once again, we can't stop their running game. I mean, how many years do you have to watch J.K. Dobbins? I mean, for God's sakes, that motherfucker fumbled the ball in 2019 and it bounced right back into his fucking hands. You know what I mean? Like, shit like that. Either way, whatever team wins, I really do believe this is going to be a very close game like 2016, 2017. This isn't going to be 2018, 2019, or even 2015. It's just not. It's going to be 16 and 17. It's going to be one of those classics. It's going to be a tough nose. Whoever makes the plays towards the end of the game, and that's what frightens the shit out of me, because we're not known to make big plays at the end of the game when we're needed. When they need to make a big play, we're not known to make it. And they are. So that's what scares the shit out of me. So probably we're going to lose, but I think we'll lose in a much more competitive game. And that's what's going to hurt even more. So that's probably what's going to happen. But we could win in a close game too. But that's what's going to happen. There are no blowouts this year. No blowouts this year at all. Two, his question is, what are your thoughts about replacing Gaddis this off season? Not suggesting he's terrible, but I think Harbaugh can find someone better. Yeah, I think if you get someone like God, his name escapes me right now, but the OC for Oregon, and he was the head coach for Mississippi State, and he was the OC for Penn State. It's killing me. I don't know his name. I wanted him as head coach, but I think he's imaginative as an offensive coordinator. He went into Ohio State and beat them this year with Oregon, right, as the OC. Because I love that head coach at Oregon. I love that guy. Cristobal is the dog. I love that dude. So I think that's a great marriage over there. But if we can get that OC, I would love him. But if you can get somebody who's imaginative and really is aggressive, I don't want somebody tiptoeing through the fucking tulips on this one. I want somebody to put his fucking foot on your throat and step and pop your Adam's apple. That's what I want when we're on offense. And I think that can happen. I think we can find an OC like that. And if we can find that guy, toss Gaddis to the curb. I'm fine with that. He hasn't done anything to create any type of loyalty with me, so I'm fine with that. Great questions as always, Brady G. Now we go to Big Smoke. I know that's not his name. But I always say this. I made the mistake in that Minnesota game, first game last season, calling him Big Smoke. So we're going to stick with Big Smoke. All these dudes are OGs. I love it. I love it. They are all OG maniacs. Okay, so he goes a little original, which I like. If not, okay, I want to know what. Okay, hold on. I'm reading part of the first one. Never mind. Oh, he was just asking if it was too late to submit a question, which it's not. And his first question is, I want to know, coming from Colorado, what's your take on Rocky Mountain oysters? Have no clue. Will not put testicles in these mouth. Nuts do not go in this mouth at all. I even feel weird about putting peanuts in this mouth. No, I'm just kidding. No idea. I hear they're delicious, but you'll never catch this dude eating on bull's balls. So we'll just leave it at that. I'm sure Chevy Chase has something to say about that if you've seen Funny Farm. And then he said, and how is your boy doing with his training in the Navy? Well, he's out of training. He's doing fantastic. He's officially a part of a squadron with the air crew. I think he's on the Sea Dragon. He is based out of Norfolk. And yeah, he's doing fantastic. He's really kicking ass. I mean, it was kind of a godsend that he got injured in Special Forces and he had to bow out. Because I think he really found something that he loves. Because the Special Forces came back to him, asked him to come back, and he turned them down because he really does love being a part of this situation. So he's happy. I'm happy. He just bought his first house, so I don't know what more a father can be happy or more proud of. It does every day. It scares me with the overall kind of temperature of what this world is boiling up to. Because there's some things he's going to have to do with that helicopter that make me very nervous. But he's happy. He's living his best life, and I'll tell you, if that's all he ever does, but he feels like he's doing it, then that's all I can ever ask of him living his best life. So I'm very happy about it. But yeah, he's out of training. He's doing great. He's fantastic. He's just kicking ass and taking names. So thank you so much, Big Smoke. I really appreciate that. Now we'll go to Peter. Peter, my buddy. Peter, he is a young Michigan maniac, but he is very hardcore. He gets upset quick. He reminds me of me when I was a young maniac, when I was a young Michigan maniac. But his first question is, What is your favorite vacation destination? Very good question. Actually, to be quite honest with you, before all this craziness happened in California, San Francisco was one of my most favorite cities to visit. Now, I don't know if I'm so hip on their politics. Not really a place for me in their politics, but the city is beautiful. The way the city's laid out, it kind of looks like a European city. It looks kind of like a Italy or Spain or I mean just something. It's very it has a great feel to it. Alcatraz is fantastic to visit. The food is fantastic. I mean, there's just so much to go visit. And with me, since I work for American Airlines, it's a great day trip. I can hop on the first plane out, get there, and then hop on the last plane back, and it's a great day trip. Outside of that, anywhere in England, I have really enjoyed going. So just to get outside of America to get a kind of, and it's crazy to see how other countries see us. Really, it really is. It's interesting, right? Because first of all, if you go to England, go there because they fucking love us there. They love us. And then you finally have an accent. So if you're not from Boston or New York or Texas or from somewhere in the South, you finally have an accent. You know what I mean? You go somewhere where you have the cool accent. So that's interesting. But also too, what I find funny is that if you meet anyone in England, they assume that you care about Canada because we're all part of North America. And so they'll start talking to you about stuff that's happening in Canada, and you're like, well, slow down, dude. I live in America. I don't give two shits about Canada. Like, now maybe there's some Americans who do, but 1% of Americans care about Canada? I don't know. Or even know anything about Canada outside of hockey? I mean, and they all too, what's very funny is they all believe that you know everyone here. I don't know how many times I've been in a pub, they find out that I'm from America, and they're like, oh, I know somebody who lives in Cincinnati. Do you know somebody who lives in Cincinnati? I'm like, I don't fucking know. I live in Arizona. Do you realize that's like going from England to Italy? You know what I mean? Like, no way. It'd be impossible. I have no idea what you're talking about. So it's very fun. England also, Manchester and Oldham which Oldham is a very small village, they say, outside of Manchester. But both of those cities remind me of America in the 90s. Very politically incorrect. They love to have a good time. I mean, it's not about my pronouns. It's not about any of this stuff. It's just like, oh, you're just a person. I'm a person. Let's just hang out and fucking talk about football. To them is soccer, and just have a great time, drink, and just enjoy life. Like, it's fantastic over there. I really enjoy it. But those two places would really be my favorite vacation destinations. Or if I just want to get debaucherous, I'll just go to Vegas. Plain and simple. That's always a great time. Two, why is playing Penn State so difficult? Well, one, they're a very good team. I mean, they always recruit well. They're going to recruit well because they're a blue blood just like we are. They have a fantastic home situation going on, right? That wideout game is ridiculous. Their home field advantage is what I was looking for there. They like I said, they recruit well and they have good coaching. That's just how it is, right? And that we are unlucky that we are in the East with them, so we have to play them every fucking year. That's why it's so difficult. They will always have good coaching. They will always recruit well, and they have a very good home field advantage. So they're always going to be a difficult out, no matter what. And part of that other question is it the dimensions of Beaver Stadium that make it so loud? To be quite honest with you, I have no idea what Beaver Stadium looks like. I would assume it has to be because I know the dimensions at the big house make it hard to keep in sound. So I would assume because it's so loud there, it has to be kind of it's probably deep in the middle and then it kind of curves inward at the top so the sound kind of stays in. But I've never seen I don't know the dimensions, but I would assume that's how it is. Now his third question, what are the expectations for Michigan basketball? Final Four champs. I would after watching them last night, they looked fantastic. I mean, the young kids look great. Caleb Houston looked fantastic. Diabate looked great. I mean, Diabate really. He says that he molds his game after Kevin Garnett, and I can see it. I mean, the body style, his aggressiveness, it all reminds me of Kevin Garnett. Not a shock. I think we went Elite Eight last year without our main guy in Livers. So if we stay healthy and the young kids come along, and it looks like Dickinson has just gotten better. It looks like he's now got a right and left hand that he can shoot from on both. Obviously, free throws need to get better. I think we have a much better defensive point guard than what we had last year, even though I love Mike Smith. I think it's very high. I think the Final Four is absolutely doable. I mean, we got to the Elite Eight last year. I think this year, absolutely Final Four. And I think that's just something that we should always shoot for. Final Four. And I'm going to say that. Final Four, I don't know if we win a national championship because that's so hard to do. But Final Four, hell yeah. I think that's very doable. Fourth question. Have you considered taking special vacation time in the future to go to Ann Arbor? What game would you like to attend at Michigan Stadium, aka the Big House? I'm sure it's on your bucket list. It is absolutely on my bucket list, and I would say now 2 to 3 times I have had plans, active plans, on going to the Big House for a game, and for one reason or another, it has been canceled. One for sure was COVID screwed it up. I had to cancel flights. I had to cancel hotels, everything. COVID screwed that all up. To be quite honest, this is going to sound maybe dumb, but I want my first trip to the Big House to be a sure win. I don't want it to be marred by a loss, right? So I don't necessarily want it to be a Michigan State game or an Ohio State game. Now maybe second or third games, sure. Big time games, I would love to do that, right? But I want an absolute win. And I kind of want it warm, I'll be honest. I grew up in Denver where it was cold, but I spent 16 years of my adult life in Phoenix, Arizona. So I'm not used to the cold anymore. So I wouldn't mind a freaking Western Michigan game at the beginning of the season where it's nice and warm and I can watch Michigan kick the shit out of somebody. I would be A-okay with that. That would be a great first game because it's a guaranteed win. They would look amazing. We could just party and have a good time, and I wouldn't have to worry about being bummed out just in case we do what we usually do and shit the bed in a close game, right? So that's what I would like. Absolutely, it's on my list. And this year, it couldn't happen. There was actually 2 games I had planned on going to, but things outside of my control, work-related, and some other family stuff, I couldn't do it. And I'm totally bummed, but next year, I am dedicated to next year being the year that I do this. Thank you, Peter. Once again, fantastic outside the box questions. Love every single one of them. Gabe, my main man, Gabe. This guy is as hardcore as you get in so many different things. I love it. I love when Gabe sends me questions because you just never know what you're going to get with this dude. What are your thoughts on Michigan being ranked ahead of Michigan State? Okay. I know there's more to this question. Oh, well, you know what? I'll read it. I know it doesn't really matter since this will play itself out starting Saturday, but I am curious if you agree with the committee. I agree with them, and I like like I said, the last time I feel the committee knows we got the shitty calls, and he goes into the all the calls and everything we know, right? Yeah, too. I love it because you're absolutely right. 100%. It's gonna play itself out. This means absolutely nothing in the grand scheme of things, but it only solidifies everything that I've ever said about Michigan State. And if you're listening, Michigan State fans, know that no one cares about you. No one. The national public doesn't care. ESPN doesn't care. The committee doesn't care. No one gives two shits about you and your success. So who cares? Quit crying. Shut the fuck up. No one cares. You can whine all you want. You can go undefeated, and a one-loss Michigan team will still leap you in every poll possible because no one gives a shit about you and your crummy ass team and your lame ass fan base. No one. It doesn't matter. You will always be the ugly, ugly little sister, little brother to us, no matter how bad we are. It doesn't matter. So suck it. Just absolutely suck it. Take it all the way deep to the tonsils, kid. Balls, let the balls rest on your chin because no one gives a shit. No one cares about you. Granted, we can both, and likelihood, there's a great likelihood both teams can end up 9-3, and that's fine. But guess what? If we're both 9-3, guess who will be ranked ahead of the other one? It will always be us. The nation and everybody will always pick us because you are envy. You're the fat person in the hallway wearing a jacket that no one wants to look at. And we're the hot, slutty girl. It's just the way it goes. I hate to break it to you. We're the stud. You're the dork. No one cares. Just deal with it, dude. Deal with it. Because it's not changing. It's not changing, and it's so, so sweet. It's so great that we lost to you, and that our loss is viewed as a more quality loss to you than you losing to Purdue. So you beating us actually hurt you. That's so great. Just think about that. Think about the paradox in which that is. You beating us actually hurt you because you did the most Michigan State thing ever and lost to Purdue. Oh, Michigan State, continue to be you. My life is so much better when you're just you. You guys do you do way more stupid things than we do, and then your fan base is way worse than we are. I love you, Michigan State, because you're just such a shit pile of a team and a fan base. Oh, God, you make me so happy. You make me so happy. It's awesome. So yes, no, I'm super excited. I love it. I love every second of it. Even though it's just a moment in time and all this will be settled within a couple weeks because in 2 weeks, Michigan State plays Ohio State, and that will determine everything. Hell, even Ohio State plays Purdue this week. Who knows? Purdue's been giant killers all fucking season, so we'll see how that plays out. But it's, for right now, in this moment, it is super, super sweet, and I love every effing second of it. Every second of it. God, I love it. I love it so much. Two, I always will answer questions about my son. How is your son doing? And is he still out doing the military thing? Yes, he is. And happy Veterans Day to any vets listening to the show. And absolutely, thank you, veterans, for everything you do for us and everything you have done for us. I mean, I can't even tell you how much I appreciate you guys. I mean, I have friends, super good friends. My family, my dad, my uncles, my grandfathers, my son, all military, and it means so much to me, the sacrifices you guys make for us, and I'm very happy that we can always just support you. Yeah, my son's doing great. Like you heard earlier in the show, he just bought his first house. He's killing it with the air crew on the Sea Dragon. He's just killing it. He's living his best life. I mean, he's beautiful. I mean, he's a good-looking kid. I mean, good-looking kid on the outside, good-looking kid on the inside. Super smart, funny. He makes this guy very, very happy to be his father. So he's fantastic. So thank you very much, Gabe, for asking. Three. If we went out and, or if we, wait, hold on, I read that wrong. If we went out up to the point of the Ohio State game, what percentage do you get Michigan to beat Ohio? He gives them 60 to 75% chance to beat Ohio. Ohio hasn't looked great when facing a decent defense. That's true. Um, I think 75% is a very good percentage. I mean, the only thing that stops us from beating Ohio is our own mental outlook at this point. We have the talent. I mean, for God's sakes, we have two edge rushers who are in the top 10 of Mel Kiper's his pre-draft list or whatever he calls it. I don't know, but they're the two top. I mean, 10th pick Ojabo, 5th pick frickin' Hutchinson. I mean, there's no reason we can't hang with this team. I don't know why more people don't talk about this. How are we not talking about that? Ryan Day and Don Brown came from the same effing college football team, which was they coached both for Boston College. You don't think practicing against Don Brown every day for however many years they were coaching together, that he didn't understand the tendencies of Don Brown? Are you kidding me? You tell me that doesn't exist? So now that Ryan Day has to go up against somebody he's never seen before, he doesn't know their tendencies. I want to see what he does against Mike McDonald. And not saying that Mike McDonald's the second coming of Jesus or anything, defensive Jesus, but still, it's somebody new. It's somebody who's going to throw a few monkey wrenches in the whole thing. And yes, Ohio State's very talented, absolutely. And the one deficit we have are our linebackers. So that could be very scary when it comes to a great tight end that Ohio State has, and in the crossing routes and putting linebackers into coverage, which Josh Ross can't cover to save his life, and some of the other guys can't either. And I'm not bagging on Junior Colson or Nikhil Hill-Green. Most of the time when I bagged on them, it's only because of lack of experience, but which they're getting in spades this season, which will only make them stronger next season. So I think all that will take care of itself in time, but that time is not what we have right now. A 75% chance. I think that's absolutely a great 75 to 80 is what I'd say. I absolutely think so. We go in healthy. Now that's the key. We have to be healthy going into that game. We can't be missing Corum. We can't be missing All. We can't be missing key players in that game, because if that's the case, then the percentages obviously go down lower, right? Yeah, they haven't looked good. And I think we have a very good chance. I think we do a lot of things well that Ohio State doesn't deal with, okay? They don't deal with very well. And I think actually we're starting to improve in a lot of the ways that Ohio does for things very well, like the passing game. I think our defensive backfield's starting to actually cover very well. I mean, if Jamon Green is healthy, like I said, if he's healthy, that gives us three really good cornerbacks to cover their wide receivers. They have four talented wide receivers, but still, I think we have a very good chance at it. We're not going to get blown out. So, yeah, 75 to 80%, I think it's a very good chance that we do. Now, obviously, like I said, depending on health, those percentages go down. His fourth one is, have you ever thought about stealing a plane from work? To be quite honest, dude, even if I thought I could do it, which I wouldn't even know how to turn those bad boys on. If you ever see the control panel in one of those planes, there's so many knobs and switches, and I wouldn't even know what I'd do. I'd probably get tackled and arrested before I could even find the on switch, to be quite honest with you. I load those planes and I push those bad boys out, and I can do all sorts of stuff on the outside of that plane that I do very, very well. But anything inside that bad boy, I have no clue on. And plus, I'd be scared to death to even get in that cockpit because I know nothing about what's going on. I think it's a funny question, though. I thank you for asking it. Guys, and that's really it. That's the name of the game, baby. That show's over. Guys, it is great to be a Michigan Wolverine. I don't know exactly what's going to happen in this game against Penn State. I like the fact I like a lot of the numbers that are pointing our way. I know we have a uphill battle against that defense, but their their linebackers are hurt. Everybody's kind of hurt, I mean, but they have good solid safeties. They've got a lot of good stuff going for them. I don't know what's going to happen. I really don't. I have an idea. I don't know for sure. You know what I mean? Like 28. What did I say? 28-17. I think that was my pick. 28-17. I think we can pull that off. I think Michigan's going to do it. I think we're going to win. I think we're going to improve some people. Yeah, I can't wait. It's going to be an exciting game regardless. So, guys, it's great to be a Michigan Wolverine. It's only going to get better. And always and forever, guys, go blue.